This is the top 20 upcoming smartphone tech in 2020. The new generation of Snapdragon processors is coming in 2019 and 2020 that will power the latest flagship phones in the Android world. These chips will be going into Samsung phones, Oppo flagships, Xiaomi flagships, and pretty much any phone that wants to call itself a flagship phone. We'll also be getting a brand new range of mid-range 5G integrated chipsets from Snapdragon. The Snapdragon 700 and 600 series integrated 5G chips will help proliferate 5G in 2020. Mediatek seems to be on the rise. They're making a return to prime time and expected to be in more phones in 2020, including a lot of link up with the Redmi brand. So you may think 5G is far away, but make no mistake, 2020 is the start of the 5G era. Every single smartphone company will have 5G phones in 2020. Even reportedly Apple, who've been looking at using a Snapdragon modem to power 5G in the 2020 iPhones. More importantly, they will be coming to Android flagship and mid-range phones with a bunch of different chipsets. In 2019, the Sony IMX586 was a ubiquitous camera sensor. The Huawei Nova 6, the Honor V20, the Xiaomi Mi 9, Oppo Reno, the OnePlus phones, Realme phones, Vivo phones, the Redmi K20 Pro, all used that Sony IMX586 48 megapixel camera sensor. Well, in 2020, Sony are upgrading it and moving it to the IMX686. Not just 64 megapixel sensors, but quad cameras and even pentacamera systems will be more popular in 2020. We've already seen this trend with Oppo, Realme, Redmi, and now Xiaomi with the pentacamera system. There will be so many options in 2020. 64 megapixel, why stop there? Xiaomi have already introduced their brand new 108 megapixel camera sensor. So expect the megapixel race to continue next year. If you're not a fan of the hole punch display, 2020 is going to be a torrid year for you. Phones from budget to flagship will all carry a version of the hole punch design next year. LCD or OLED, it doesn't matter. There are so many firms already signed up to use these hole punch designs in 2020. So we'll be seeing much less of the pop-up camera system next time around. Motion Sense is going to come to more phones. We've already seen this in the Google Pixel 4 and also the Mate 30 Pro. If Google went to the expense of putting Motion Sense hardware in their phone, you know it's a feature that they want to push in Android, and that means phones in the future will also take advantage of this. It's also a reason why the hole punch display is a better option, because the cameras are always there to sense any motion that may be going on. And at the very top end of the market, Samsung are looking to sell way more foldable phones. We'll see the introduction of the Galaxy Fold 2, and whilst uptake of foldable phones is a long way off, initial feedback from consumers is that they are so much fun and really great to use. So I think when they're cheap enough, they will be really popular. Under-screen camera tech should be making its way to at least a couple of phones as early as next year. Samsung are setting up manufacturing lines to build this brand new under-screen camera technology into phones. This will enable the selfie camera to be placed under the screen and means we don't have to deal with those cutouts. When it's perfected, it will possibly mean the end of the bezel. Another piece of under-screen tech that will be improved next year is the under-screen fingerprint sensor. This will be getting much bigger in 2020, meaning unlocking your device by touching a bigger area on the bottom of the screen will just be easier. Xiaomi have already introduced this in the CC9 Pro, and Samsung will be giving us a bigger sensor in the S11 range. That won't be limited just to OLED screens though. Huawei have shown us LCD under-screen fingerprint tech too. This means that more budget-friendly options will also be able to feature under-screen fingerprint tech, so they can get rid of the back-mounted or side-mounted fingerprint sensors. With the big success of the zoom camera in 2019 in the P30 Pro, the periscope-style zoom will be making its way to more phones, and it looks like the S11 series will be using that same camera tech too. 120Hz displays may be the new normal. OnePlus were the first company to really bring the 90Hz display into the mainstream, and we're seeing more phones catch on to this. OnePlus aren't stopping there though. There's been rumors that they might choose a 120Hz refresh rate display on the OnePlus 8 Pro. And how about waterfall screens? We saw the Vivo Nex 3 and also the Huawei Mate 30 Pro using waterfall type displays this year, and I expect more waterfall type screens to make it to the market next year. It will mean phones can have more of a unibody design, and the sides of the phone can be used for many different options, but expect those displays to stick up in the high flagship range phones. OLED screens will be used more in budget-friendly phones next year, thanks to some Chinese factories who are really getting into the market, most notably BOE. We will see more and more affordable OLED screens come to the market and OLED become more popular. Maybe not for Huawei though, who seem to want to stick with LCD to the bitter end. Fast charging will take a big leap next year in 2020. We've already seen Oppo introduce incredibly quick charging technologies all the way up to 65-watt fast charging and give you the charging brick in the box. Realme also give us 50-watt fast charging in their flagship killer that is way cheaper than a lot of flagships. That doesn't just go for wired charging though. Wireless charging is getting a boost, with Xiaomi also introducing up to 30-watt wireless charging, which means you really just don't have to worry about charging your phone ever again. And last but not least, the headphone jack. Loved by some, a deal breaker for a lot of you, but rest assured, as we continue forward, the headphone jack will be in fewer and fewer phones. That's just the way it is. We have to accept it. Luckily, there are a lot of different options with Bluetooth earphones right now. Subscribe for all the latest tech news and follow my Twitter for some more information. That's it for now, but I'll see you in the next one.